Stretch out the dreams from my mind. Granny's got the scoop, let's unwind. Birds are chirping, singing their tune. Mystery of the day coming soon. Cup of tea and a buttered scone. Start the day, we're never alone. Good morning, rise and shine. Granny's here with stories so fine. Good morning, off we go. To greet the world with a happy glow.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful day. Grab your coffee, your tea, your espresso, your cappuccino, your juice, whatever it is you drink in the morning, and let's get started. Today we are talking about the red rum of Rachel Morin, beautiful young lady who was brutally hard and red rummed in a park that she went jogging in. Horrific red rum. It was awful, guys. And it was done by an illegal migrant worker. His name was Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez. A monster, guys, just a monster. To give you a little bit of background, he left. She was jogging along a trail, a very well-known trail. He left her body along a 150-foot blood trail. It was horrible. The I'm speechless, guys, because this red rum was horrific. She's a mother of 5 children. She, on August 5th, she was reported missing after she did not return home from some evening exercise on the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air. Community members were concerned about her, so they went on the trail, and along the creek line, they found a trail that resembled a deer trail with flattened leaves before finding rocks with blood on them. The pair walked through 2 tunnels with overgrown bush where they found her body. Of course, they immediately called 911, and authorities retraced the path where her body had been dragged after her brutal R and red rum. Police also collected large bloody rocks that authorities say she had been bashed with. Healy said that Morin's right shoe and socks had been left on, and her left shoe and socks had been discarded. She noted that Morin's bra had been pulled up over her breasts. Healy said the defendant, Martinez Hernandez, forced her against the tunnel wall and R'd her. Evidence revealed that the brutal assault had taken place between 7:04 and 7:10 p.m. Authorities discovered her phone submerged in the water, completely shattered, along with her destroyed Apple Watch nearby. They also found her Apple AirPods. She had endured 15 to 20 blows to the head and had died from a combination of strangulation and blunt force trauma. Her death was officially ruled a homicide. Her body bore bruises around her neck, and according to Healy, a DNA profile matched Martinez Hernandez. On June 14th, authorities pinged Martinez Hernandez's cell phone and responded to a bar in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So what I want to do is share my screen, and we're going to watch the arrest Okay. Try to make it a little bigger for you guys to be able to see it. And I'll take this off the screen. All right. Now I'm going to keep the sound off, guys, because there's loud music and just, I can't have that on. So, all right. This is where the police are entering in to the bar in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, I don't know if they're talking to somebody because they're just barely inside the door. I don't know who the people on the outside of the bar are. I don't know if they're witnesses or if they recognized him. I don't know. It doesn't say, honestly. Okay, so now they're walking to the bar. Not an extremely busy place. A lot of empty tables. That is him in the yellow shirt. Remember that the DNA matched his. So they took him into custody. Again, I'm not going to turn on the sound because the music from the bar is being heard and we can't have that. But that is him. Now we are going to go to the first day of trial where he is being accused of red rumming Rachel, right? And we're going to hear the overview of what happened on the first day and a little bit about.
Harford County, Maryland. The man accused of raping and murdering her, an illegal immigrant with prior violent crimes. And the case really becoming a political flashpoint during the presidential campaign, with Rachel's mother testifying before a Senate committee last year, urging lawmakers to prioritize public safety.
My daughter is like so many other American girls that go about their life and they're just caught unawares from behind, dragged off the main road, trail, whatever, strangled, raped, murdered. Some have been found, some have not. I think deportation is necessary.
Well, tensions are very high with this trial, with extra security now in place. Let's bring in correspondent Caitlin Becker, who's live outside the courthouse there. Caitlin, what is happening inside?
Well, Nicole, shortly before this, I came to you, the jury broke for lunch, but we're well underway into this trial of Rachel Morin. Opening statements wrapped up at about 11 a.m., and the second witness for the prosecution is already on the stand. The first witness was Rachel Morin's 14-year-old daughter, Violet, and her little voice on the stand in the microphone just broke your heart. She only got a few questions into her testimony before she broke down into tears. And
Guys, I don't understand how that little girl, maybe she wanted to speak, but she was the first one that was put on the stand. I don't know what her testimony was about, other than about her mom. Remember that Rachel was the mother of 5 children, and her oldest was the one that was on the stand, who was 14 years old. I can't imagine what that was like for the jury to hear, and maybe that was the whole point, right? I am going to say this, and it may be an unpopular viewpoint. That's okay. You guys can agree to disagree with me if you want to. As long as you're being respectful, I don't have a problem with that. I am going to say that this man is an illegal immigrant. So he was in our country illegally, and he felt he had the right to our and Red Rum, one of our citizens. That's wrong. I don't have a problem with immigrants coming to our country. Let me just say that, right? I don't have a problem with that, right? Because most of us are all immigrants, generations back at one point or another, and that's fine. But what did our relatives do? My grandparents came from Lithuania, okay? They came legally. They went through the process of becoming American citizens. They learned the language. They did everything correctly. We have so many people that have come in illegally into our country that are doing these crimes, and it's not right. On so many levels, it's not right. So disagree with me if you want to. That is my opinion.
needed a moment to compose herself. She testified to the last day of her mother's life and their interactions. Taking the stand after Violet was Rachel Morin's boyfriend at the time, Rich Tobin, again, kind of laying the groundwork for what their communication was on the last day of her life. They both testified that Rachel went to this trail, the Ma and Pa Trail, almost every day, sometimes 2 times a day. And it was, of course, on that trail that she was raped and murdered. Her body found the day after she had gone missing. Now, the man charged in her killing, Victor Martinez Hernandez, is an illegal immigrant from El Salvador, and he is charged with the most serious offenses you can really imagine: multiple murder charges, multiple charges of rape and sexual assault, as well as a kidnapping charge in there. Now, during the investigation, the police uncovered some DNA evidence, and they used that DNA evidence to hone in on their suspect using forensic genetic genealogy. And the DNA is going to be a big topic of discussion during this trial. We heard both the prosecution and the defense touch on that in opening statements. Prosecutors say the DNA evidence, clear as day, is the defendant's. It was on her body. That should point to him as the culprit here. Whereas the defense says it needs to be a 100% match, which they say it is not. And that's the evidence they're going to rebut that with, Nicole.
All right, so Caitlin, how are Rachel Morin's family members reacting to all of this?
It's a struggle. It's a struggle inside of that courtroom. In opening statements, her mother and her siblings are in that courtroom, and you could see them trying to hold it together during opening statements, particularly as the prosecution got into some of the more gruesome and graphic details of nearly 24 blows to the head, strangulation marks. And these are things that are going to be talked about in great detail in the course of this trial.
I can't imagine what her family is going through. Many of these details did not come out before this trial, guys, obviously. we know that law enforcement keeps things close to the vest, right? So the family is hearing some of these things for the first time, guys, and that's not good. Having to sit there and listen to all that. But you know that they're not going to want to leave, right? If it were my daughter, I wouldn't leave, but it would not be easy to sit there either.
As well as graphic photos that will be shown to the jury. But during the break, the morning break, I was able to speak with an attorney who represents Rachel Morin's mother and siblings, Randolph Rice, who told me that their goal is to stay in there to support Rachel throughout this entire trial. But something he's looking at while he's alongside them in that courtroom is how the jury is reacting. Take a listen to some of that conversation.
I was watching the jury. They pretty much were sort of stone, cold, didn't really have a lot of emotion. I think they're just sort of taking this all in for the first time. Remember, nobody has heard a lot of these facts. And so they're hearing these facts for the first time and trying to absorb all of this. And they certainly realize that there is a lot of information that they've got to take in over the next week and a half.
Also showing no emotion in that courtroom, the defendant, who is sitting at the table in a button-up shirt, a necktie with headphones on so that he can hear the translation in Spanish to follow along with the proceedings. He's not visibly reacting, but he does seem intently listening here, Nicole. And the jury and testimony is expected to resume at about 2:15 p.m. Eastern, with Rich Tobin, the boyfriend, getting back on that stand to continue direct examination.
All right, Caitlin Becker, live for us there in Maryland. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to
Okay, guys. So that's kind of part of the first day of the trial. We heard some new information that we did not know before. I'm just going to ask everybody to keep her family in your prayers, because this is not going to be an easy thing for them to see the pictures of her body, to go through this. But I understand why they want to be there. If it were my daughter, I'd want to be there. I wouldn't leave, but it's not easy. I sincerely pray that the 14-year-old is not going to be in there to see this stuff, because she's too young, and I would hope that the family would protect her from that. I understand calling her, for character witness or whatever it is that they called her for. I understand that, and I get that. And it's going to be impactful for the jury. 10 men, 2 women. If they think about Rachel as their sister or their wife, it's got to be pretty difficult to hear, right? Got to be pretty difficult to hear. The DNA analysis is what's going to be critical in this case to connect Mr. Hernandez. He doesn't deserve the title Mr., in my opinion. To this, So all we can pray for is justice and for strength for the family members of Rachel Morin, right? I will try to keep up on this story, guys. We are coming into the Lori Vallow Daybell trial, which we'll be talking about every night at 5 p.m. So I want to encourage you, hit the like button, subscribe, even share our content. We would love that. Hit the notification bell so you're notified when we do go live, which is most nights 5 p.m. Central Time. We have a great family that we are building here, No Drama Channel. We're not about hate. We're not about drama. So if that's something you're interested in, please join us. We'd love to have you. I want to thank you all for being here with me today. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at grannyscrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.